Alauneari sort of nods. I suppose there's nothing more to look at here. We should continue further inland and see if we can head south to find this observatory. It was supposed to be on some sort of peak, correct?
Yes, to the southwest. Which I think means we should take the western road.
Should not be too hard to find then.
So we move all the way.
Hoping that
That's why.
that the sort of whatever peaks that are here are not just big piles of mud.
Well, as it turns out,
Extensive rainfall.
These Steve gnomes had mud walking abilities.
Brodot Quink shows up.
Anything else which is
I have actually theorized.
ancient Thessalonians, long time ago.
There was the rune lord of mud. Yes.
He practiced the mud specialization magic.
It's quite interesting, actually. I've written a thesis. Ignored, of course, but quite brilliant.
Who
fine,
understands me?
Only you understand me. Oh.
I'm super serial.
Well, this muddy road seems to lead out of town, indeed. Do you wish to follow it?
Yes.
I think
guess.
so, yes.
Very well.
Does death await us? If so, then not.
But in that case, you're in the wrong campaign.
Warning, going beyond this point may cause death.
Just replace gnome with dwarf with gnome, and you've got like gnome forge for us. What we just left right there.
Quite so.
They struck the earth, and the earth turned into mud. The end.
It's a short story, but I think we all learned something. This muddy road is washed out in places. At some point, at certain places, it completely disappears into the mud. You can still follow it, though, although following it is, literally a slog. As you spend some time traversing this, you, after a while, come upon the foot of the mountain that is in front of you, one of the horns, as it were. The road keeps leading up into the horn. Looking up, I mean, the mountain is quite large. The road seems to be rather difficult to travel. You would think that traveling up here might be a little bit dangerous. If you do,
As opposed to traveling anywhere else in the Fungal Jungle.
Or in the Underdark, yes.
The mud fields that sort of are caked all over this mountain as you start to climb upwards, you soon realize that they are there's a lot of like insects buzzing around here, like sort of feasting in the mud, or on some unseen carcasses or anything around here. These buzzing flies seems to be eyeless and going by scent, but they start finding you a couple, an hour or so up the mountain, and this journey up turns quickly to become a day of utter misery as you try to find your way over this old gnomish road, climbing over all the mud and having these flies constantly buzzing and biting at you. You need all to make a fortitude save.
Well, if only I could see my token.
Yeah. Or you could just do that, sure. How did I roll an 8? I don't believe you.
Oh, I didn't even need to use my rerolls. I'll take that, yeah.
Let's see, anyone with below 15, that is Zyn and Ivy. Well, you don't really feel very well at the end of the day, because the biting fly seems to have, gotten you some sort of disease, actually.
You got like a smoke screen spell, Manaki. Just like puff all these fuckers away.
I think a channeling attempt will do one for a little while,
and then they all come back.
sort of fry them all.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, Jesus.
You get real ill with this, and you will be sickened for at least 6 days before you can
Okay.
make a new attempt.
Oh.
But clearly that was the role for Ivy, and you want to do another one for Zyn.
Nope.
No,
Oh.
if Zyn wants to tell Alauneari, she wants to remove some of that.
Well, you would certainly notice that Zyn doesn't quite feel well after being assaulted by flies for hours, probably.
You say he's sickened for 6
Yes.
days.
Yes.
I suppress it for like 30 minutes. If that helps. What else do we have? Anything else?
I'm radioactive. No. Help. Am I glowing?
No, you're kind of. You're feeling like Grimith is sounding.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you too, asshole. I don't have to take your shit.
These aliens are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Scandinavia and the world. Fuck all of you. I'm out.
Yes. But at the end of the day, you do have traversed most of this difficult journey, and in front of you, at the what you assume is to be near the peak of this mountain, you do suddenly see a gnomish structure yut up. It seems to be a square tower built in stone, of course, as is the gnomish custom. It has an odd shaped roof, though. It seems to be made of metal. You would guess, you wouldn't really be able to guess what kind of metal at this distance. It also seems to have like strange sort of pulleys and like hatches and stuff in the roof. You can see.
Can we see the ceiling of the cavern from here?
Let's take a quick look. No, you cannot. It is still far up in the darkness. Although it seems to be closer, definitely. I mean, the light spots you sporadically see when down in the jungle or walking around here, they do seem closer.
Bad touch.
You also notice that at the side of the tower seems to be like holes, sort of blasted into the walls, not at ground level, but you do see these holes at the second and third level of the tower. Again, as if something sort of assaulted it and basically blasted this open.
Well, there's nothing much to do but to go in, but with a reminder that there could still be a guardian that somehow survived whatever cataclysm struck Volsenstadt that might be prowling around screaming in broken gnomish at us.
Yes. You are also quite tired of this, at least, several hours climbing or slogging up the mountain.
I thought you said it took a day. Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, a day of misery, as it were.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Sakari's back then.
Well, you haven't rested yet, that's my point.
Well, that's what we're doing on the observatory top. Come on.
Let's rest already.
Now it's somewhere where there are not so many insects.
There's not many insects up here. They seem to buzz around in the middle to the low levels of the mountain.
All we need to do is rappel like 1,000 feet or whatever, and we'll be good to go.
Yes, but you can certainly approach the gnomish tower.
And then strike camp. Woo!
Yeah. Let's do a little bit of this. All right, moving closer. The first thing you notice is that it is quite large for a gnomish structure. It seems to have been very important. Seems sturdy. There are again two double doors closed. Actually, they're made of stone. They seem to have been attacked, but they are closed right now, at least. And on the door, like engraved upon the door in gnomish text, you basically see the text: "The observatory of Kagan, first to go north where others feared." Inscribed over it.
First to go north?
Fourth, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So you are saying the observatory is showing clear signs of being attacked by, or having been attacked by something.
Yeah, there are holes
Right.
in the walls, a few stories up.
Like holes that look like they are made by like catapult boulders or explosions or shovels or
More something forceful hitting it.
Tarask.
No, the Tarask will not leave too much.
A huge rock ricocheting off of a crater miles away, perhaps.
who knows? Oh, double doors. I like
All
it.
right, time to make camp. Good night, everyone.
Yeah,
Aye.
you certainly can.
Sleeping right outside? Would we go
Yes.
inside to sleep?
No, that's silly. We can.
Doors. They look
Do
so
we-
inviting.
Really want to sleep outside?
Dirt.
For fuck's sakes, I don't care. It's all sucky here. There's mud everywhere. It's full of destruction and insects.
Exactly. Inside might be much nicer and cozier.
Yes, cozier is what I would have in mind. Let's get it out of the way so that we can proceed. Because Jonas just told us, after several hours, basically an entire day's worth of feeling miserable, you reach the observatory. I don't feel like being fatigued right now.
No, no one does. I agree.
Fine. Let us sleep right outside the observatory.
We can go inside if you want, I mean, whatever. I just want to do it. I don't care where we do it, I just want to do it. Is that too much to ask?
We can go inside, so we're not in front of everyone. Alauneari
I
will
mean, if you
will
want to be
look
such a
to
prude
Rain.
about it.
You open the doors.
So we have not rested yet. We're gonna rest inside. Is that
Well,
what you?
why in the world would we rest right outside a building? That
Okay, let's rest inside.
seems...
Move it. Well, move on. I just want to make sure.
Oh,
See,
that looks
whatever that thing
inviting.
is probably more safe than...
You know about resting outside. In retrospect, that's-
I want to hear this argument again.
Yes, the it opens up to a hallway. You see, the first thing you notice is, of course, the like furniture and stuff in here. In the south here, a big marble statue, again depicting a gnome. This time, he seems to be a scholar of some sort. He has like a miniature sort of binoculars-looking thing in one hand, like a quill in the other. He seems to have the basic trappings of a gnomish scholar and is sort of looking skyward in a sort of bravely and defiant manner. Seems to be a plaque in some sort of metal underneath him. Over here, you do see a large slime trail that seems to be leading into this door. Here is a quite gigantic old sofa of some kind. Seems to have been spared most of the destruction, however. I mean, it's
Dips.
it's still like has clear signs of mold and things all over it. But at least there isn't any slime on it, as far as you can see. On the walls here is also a large collection of portraits of different gnomes, again looking very scholarly and thoughtful, sort of looking about in again thoughtful and scholarly manner. They all have plaques under them as well. Over here is a portrait that seems to have been, smashed from the wall. It has remains of rust and what seems to be blood and gore over it.
Oh, pleasant. Zyn is certainly in favor of resting, considering he doesn't feel quite well. But he will definitely suggest that we don't just all sleep at the same time, even though that's obvious that we should have a watch. Zyn will say that anyways, because he likes repeating things. And he will even volunteer to take the first watch.
Alauneari will take the last one.
Yeah, sure. If Zyn wants first watch, yeah, whatever.
Do you sleep inside or outside?
You probably want to sleep inside somewhat.
Somewhat inside?
You can huddle up here.
Somewhat.
Yes.
Right?
How do you we could like straddle the threshold? Come on.
Like the floor was not completely covered in slime.
Nope. It's a slime here leading into this door.
Good.
Let's avoid the door.
Let's push the couch in front of it if we're worried. Alauneari will boldly step inside.
Fantastic.
It's not afraid of no building.
Stop initiative.
The door shuts behind you. A ghost appears.
Answer me these riddles 3.
In the distance, you see flaming skulls approaching.
If you have 3 cogs and a weight of gnomish gold,
What is the
where do you
square
place the
root of-
second?
Who killed Toothy? What?
I know this, damn it. It was my history test.
Ruthasamus, the bugbear.
Correct!
How did he
Or
know?
so you thought.
Dun dun dun!
Trick question, he's not dead. What?
He's alive? He is.
Like mummies. Well, clearly it's safest right by a giant looming, statue of a pompous gnome with a plaque. What does the plaque say?
The plaque says...
Is it a Kagan thing?
It is
Warning,
a cake thing,
dead
yes.
inside.
Exactly. Flee while you still can't know. It says, Kagan, and his name and titles.
Right.
It says founder of the Vostenstad Observatory in 1367 SR. Rilinid will
Devlin Reckoning.
exactly. Rilinid will recognize that as that. Also, it says in Gnomish, we have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the dark.
That's ominous.
To Rilinid's knowledge of Svirfneblin dating, he will say that this is somewhere around 500 years ago.
All right.
Well, it does have a lot of experience in sniffling dating. Well, what seems to be a good place to sleep as any. Sort of use it as a headrest.
Use a gnome statue as a headrest. I love it.
Miku will will step forward and say, "I can keep watch for quite some time. I do not require sleep as you do."
Alauneari will note this and say, yes, Miku, that seems to be a good proposition.
Then seems quite relieved, but he will try not to let it show.
However, I should tell you, if I stay awake too long, I must go into a form of hibernation to regain my energy. But for now, he looks around, I should be able to keep watch, no problem.
That's fine. And Rilinid will, normally he uses the net to prevent his little bell net to make sure Shell can never steal anything from him. But, he'll help to drape it over the couch that we've pushed in front of the double doors.
Alright, I want to push that to the double doors. That can certainly be arranged.
That's the sound that couches make, everyone. The sounds of explosions.
No, I tried to make like the sound from Resident Evil when you push something.
Right. Do we have camera controls like that too?
Yep, that is. You have. Everyone has
God.
tank controls. So.
All right, I got analog sticks, everyone. What do I do with?
Oh God. Yeah, Ivy settles down here. She has her dagger and crossbow out, and she doesn't seem to. She doesn't look very well. She's coughing and wheezing, and seems quite feverish. But she sits down, with dagger in hand, looking about. And doesn't really seems comfortable to start sleeping. She seems to want to watch out for Rilinid.
Oh.
As I said, Sniffler when dating.
Miko places himself in the corner. He, takes out his glaive, and just stands there. He doesn't really seem to move much, but his eyes sort of blink, and the sort of yellow, soft yellow glow inside them seems to shine over the room a bit.
Not creepy at all.
And yes. If no one does anything else, you can begin the resting procedure.
A very elaborate resting procedure.
Step 1, enable water lock 17 to rain.
Yep.
It's like a canal.
Yeah, it is.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, you can all take an extended rest.
Can Sakari also do that?
He is summoned when you reawaken, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
just saying Sakai doesn't get hit points from resting anyway, so...
No, he can only
Aw.
get healed, right?
Yeah, he has to be healed by magic.
Okay, I'll heal him then.
He returns. He has like these huge bite marks all over him.
Yeah, once you wake him up, you can cast a spell to heal him.
Well, let's see. That is once.
1d10 plus your caster level.
I know.
Yes, you can. Let's see here. Make me perception checks, everyone.
Is this once? I assume this is once we're already awake. Is it or?
No, this is even if you are sleeping.
Ooh, okay.
Wow. Well,
You're
I am
rolling to-
sickened, so
Yeah, I guess you are.
clearly it's all the flies that keep bothering them.
Dream about flies.
Good night, everyone.
Well, Sakari only he shows up in the morning. This is for a night.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Into the statue for now.
All right. Well, you all sleep quite heavily. The exhaustion certainly kicks in, and about 8 hours later, you awaken. You do notice that exactly. Miko's gone. He's out. Fools. No, you notice.
Message saying thank you for the submarine.
Yep, Ivy's gone as well. You do notice when you start to wake up that Miko seems to have moved a bit. He seems to be standing in the middle of the room and sort of looking. Seems to be looking both at the like in this direction, and he seems to be looking at this direction. He has the spear out, sort of. So basically, he is moving sort of in a small pattern, sort of looking around.
Alauneari wakes up early. She doesn't really have time for that sort of thing. Yeah. She'll just sort of wake up, get up. Not a greeting to Miku. She is on her way out.
Lady Alauneari.
Hmm?
I heard strange sounds atop the tower during your rest. It sounded like, seems to think, shrieks of some kind. I cannot be sure what it was. He shakes his head. But it seems to come from above the tower. It arrived a couple of hours ago.
Well, there he tries to listen.
You can make a perception check.
All right.
Well, she listens, and yeah, it seems that there's some form of noise coming from far up in the tower. Sounds maybe like, when she thinks of it, it might sound a bit like a pale hunter, perhaps.
Well, there probably doesn't know what that sounds like.
Well, you have heard it over the fungal jungle before.
So not. So looks to Zyn if he's awake.
Yeah, Zyn would probably be awake right now.
So says it sounds like there are pale hunters atop this tower. Would they be a danger to us?
Perhaps. They've made their nest up there. They might not appreciate us approaching. It's hard to say.
I suppose we should get moving. There's no need to rest here for longer than we need to.
Lady Alauneari, I was not finished. Nico says. He points his glaive to the door behind the sofa. I did hear some sounds coming from in there during your rest as well. A soft crackling sound like the grubs from the fountain.
I suppose that will then be our first point of investigation.
I kind of imagine that Tristan has been sleeping up against Alauneari, and when Alauneari got up, she just smacked her head into the statue.
Sure, just plop down to the ground.
She's like, my head.
Should I remove the sofa? Mika says, pointing at it.
Wait for everyone else to be up and in their gear.
He nods.
Can Zakari come now?
If you've woken up, then yes.
She's like, oh, my head. That's what my cat says when I say hi to it.
Rain will probably wake up, look around. Seems like he doesn't. He's still tired up to climb up the hill, but.
How was the farm, Zakari? I know she wouldn't say it. That's mean.
Abyssal as usual.
There's been like this monotonous snoring coming from Rilinid as he slept while having the mask on. Just like... Emotionless snore, everyone. You can book it. It's totally happening.
Tristan would stand here and just have her face right next to you, just stare at you with very big eyes. Just waiting for you to wake up.
I get the feeling that this has happened before. So when Rilinid inevitably wakes up, he won't be surprised. Just stare with that emotionless face.
Like a staring contest.
Good.
He was snoring.
Yes, that happens sometimes. You do it too.
Nuh-uh.
You were
The
so
cars.
you were
The
so
cars.
cute drooling on Alauneari's shoulder like that.
The car says I never snore.
You ever get the impression that the thing you created might be lying to you?
No.
I didn't think so.
Alauneari looks to Tristan, so briefly considering the fact that Tristan may not know that Sakari disappears whenever she falls asleep.
Wait, what?
Sakari vanished at the moment before.
Yeah.
She didn't
Yeah.
notice? How could she not notice? Tristan, I understand, but
Huh?
Alauneari?
Well, Alauneari knows, but she thinks that maybe Tristan doesn't.
Well, no, Tristan doesn't know.
Oh.
Tristan is if she
She
knew,
always sleeps so happily and safely. But there's really nothing there keeping her safe.
What does Tristan just think like Sakari's gone for a nap?
I mean, she thinks he's
Yeah,
always
if she-
there.
See if she wakes up in the night, is that he's just out doing something.
No, I mean, if she wakes up in the night, suddenly he's there because she's
Yeah,
conscious
but he's
again.
there.